Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Welinsah Wika from TBI 3C. So in this video, I am gonna persuade you about why e-cigarette vapes are more dangerous than we think. Happy watching! What if I told you there's a popular product on the market that is targeted directly at teens and young adults, was originally created to help adults quit smoking, but is actually hooking non-smokers, especially youth, or an incredibly addictive substance? Well, it looks like you're no stranger to this product, right? Yep, the name is vape or electronic cigarette. The name sounds cool, but who knows the dangers behind it are huge, and people are in denial and claim that these cigarettes are better than those stick cigarettes. How can they say that? This product is being marketed as cool, fun, and harmless, but in reality it contains chemicals known to damage lungs and brains, especially those still developing. This is Welinsah from TBI Tracy speaking about why e-cigarettes are more dangerous than we think. In this speech, I plan to reveal the misleading tactics of vape companies, the unhealthy and addictive nature of what's inside these devices, and the growing evidence that vaping can prime young people for cigarette smoking. My goal is to persuade especially parents and policymakers that we are dealing with a public health crisis, not just a harmless trend. People have been smoking for at least 7,000 years, but it wasn't until the 1800s that cigarettes became the smoke of choice. After machines were developed to mass produce them 200 years later, in 2003, the electronic cigarette was invented in China, and since then, the use of e-cigarette, also called vaping, has grown exponentially around the world. E-cigarettes are electronic devices that vaporize a flavored liquid. They all used to look like cigarettes, but now they come in many shapes and sizes. Many look like pens or small boxes called mats. What they all have in common is one power source, usually a lithium battery, to an atomizer which heats the e-liquid, 3 e-liquid or just which usually contains flavors of nicotine, and 4 a cartridge or tank which is filled with a liquid heating. The e-liquid creates a cloud of vapor that looks like smoke, but without a lot of the little components contained in tobacco smoke. Many people assume a cigarette are safer than traditional cigarettes because they don't burn anything or create our new lungs, but it took almost 7,000 years for humans to realize that tobacco causes lung cancer, throat and mouth cancer causes heart attacks and strokes and damage the lungs. Six, meanwhile, have only been around a little over a decade, so there just hasn't been enough time to figure out what effects they'll have on your body. We do know that cigarettes deliver nicotine just like the traditional cigarettes, causing increased heart rate and blood pressure. Nicotine also has powerful effects on the brain. It releases rewarding neurotransmitters in the brain like dopamine and changes brain chemistry. It is a stimulant making people feel more alert, but when it goes away, people crave it even more. It can interfere with the body's own natural ability to make dopamine, and soon the user needs nicotine just to feel normal. The developing brain of teenagers is the most vulnerable to these effects. The powerful addictive nature of nicotine is so high that it's comparable to heroin and cocaine. Besides, nicotine e-cigarettes contain chemical solvents when heated very high by some of the new e-cigarette devices. The solvent can be transferred into formaldehyde, which is a carcinogen. It causes cancer. These observations are concerning, but we really do not know what the long-term effects from inhaling these chemicals in your lungs. What we say contain many other chemicals to generate interesting flavors. In fact, there are almost 8,000 different flavors available today, so we don't know very much about many of them. We do know that some of the butter flavorings contain distill, which is famous for causing popcorn. Looking popcorn lung is a disease called bronchiolitis obliterans, which is basically an irreversible scarring and destruction of the delicate lung tissue that can kill you. Strawberry and other healthy sounding fruit flavors have been found to be cytotoxic and potentially cancer causing as well. Vaping devices, or specifically the lithium batteries inside them, may explode unpredictably. Although uncommon, this happens frequently enough that e-cigarettes have been banned from luggage and airplanes. Unpredictable explosions have occurred in people's faces and mouths and resulted in serious injuries, including blindness. With this potential risks of e-cigarettes, the addictive nicotine, the exploding batteries, the carcinogenic liquids, why would any company want you to use themselves of e-cigarettes approach $8 billion per year and are increasing. The truth is tobacco cigarettes kill about 50% of people who use them, so tobacco companies known as big tobacco need to keep recruiting young people to become addicted in order to stay in business. Here are some actual documented quotes from tobacco executive. We don't smoke that, do we just sell it? We reserve the right to smoke for the young, the pure, and the stupid. The base of our business is the high school students and the fragile self-image of the young person needs all sport. It can get smoking may appear to enhance that self-image. Studies show that when people start to smoke in their teens, they become addicted and stay smokers as they grow older. Even those who swear they will never become addicted, many of the same strategies that big tobacco used to hook your grandparents into smoking tobacco cigarettes have simply been modified and are being used today with an e-cigarette in place of tobacco. Hissy Grid, salmon candy, and the star dessert flavors like Skittles, gummy bears, and vanilla cupcakes directly aimed at teens as always show them beautiful people vaping. Even the strategic use of humor is being successfully used to get customers on their side. The bottom line is that we are all faced with important personal choices every day. We don't yet know everything. We need to know to make informed decisions about many things, but we can resist being manipulated. The cure. Take your time in making your own personal decisions. It can make all the difference.
And as I'm sure most of you know, a vape is a slang term for an electronic cigarette or an e-cigarette. In recent years, e-cigarette arrests have gained incredible popularity. But what exactly is an e-cigarette and how do they work? So, vaping requires the use of e-juices, electronic juices. Now, all these chemicals, when aerosolized and when creating the vapor, it actually causes a few issues with your skin. First of all, it completely dries up your skin, reduces amount sebum in your skin. Secondly, what happened is your fibroblast, the cell which is important to create collagen, now produces collagen at a much slower pace. Now, paired together with a dysregulation of one healing, you actually get premature aging at a much quicker rate. There's appearance of wrinkles, there's appearance hyperpigmentation, and all these are actually related to e-cigarette. E-cigarettes are becoming very relevant in today's society. So I think in February of last year, February, Park journalism program went to a program called Dance Kick Ash, clever name I know. At Think Kick Ash listened to a very old lecture about tobacco and other drugs. One of these was easy arrest. And when I learned there struck me. For one thing, although small independent internet companies, many of them have been bought out by large tobacco companies. This means that when you see commercial that say stop smoking cigarette, smoke is cigarettes, they better for you as the same people getting the money. In fact, what's interesting is that the marketing strategies for e-cigarettes and cigarettes are largely the same. If you look at this commercial, part of this commercial feature a woman stylish, she dressed looking cool and swept one of them for e-cigarettes and one of them for a cigarette is the same with this one handsome man on the front looking happy with an e-cigarette or a cigarette. It's interesting that it's not even just visual. It's also the same with what worked in the past is working again essentially. So right now you're probably thinking, so what does it matter if the same people are getting the money when these cigarettes aren't bad? The problem with that, there's just a new technology that we don't know what's in them. In fact, many e-cigarette arrests being marketed as a nicotine-free have actually had detectable levels of nicotine found inside of them. Along with this, and they come in a variety of flavors, so they're being marketed to a younger generation What we know is that these cigarettes aren't required to label what's inside of them. There's no requirement for labels, and labels that do exist aren't always complete. Deadly vaping disaster when they are heated. They release propylene glycol and glycerol, which can form an extremely toxic substance called formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is class our carcinogen, which can cause throat and lung cancers. There are also quite a few heavy metals such as lead nickel, aluminum, as well as phenolic. Compounds that scar your lungs and literally turn your lungs brittle, causing difficulty breathing. The scary is that it seems it can happen very quickly. Studies on teenagers have found that many start showing irreversible weight damage with less than a year of use. So do yourself a favor and stay away from your vaping and cigarette. Cigarettes are being marketed largely to teenagers. Back when cigarettes were the cool thing to smoke, there was flavored candy that looks like cigarettes. Now there's flavored e-cigarettes. Many researchers are concerned that this will lead to a society where smoking is acceptable again, even if it's in electronic form now. Right now, teens can completely legally go out and buy e-cigarettes in almost every marketplace. We can easily buy them online. Vaping is literally worse than smoking cigarettes to actually impact your dopamine receptors, and it has been proven in a more powerful way because the smoke penetrates your bloodstream even faster, and that's why people literally are hitting this things non-stop, like while they're driving, while they're walking, while they're at the gym, also smoking on an e-cigarette. Stay informed about what does around you and what you are smoking, and to never make a decision that's not based off of credible information. Thank you.